that kid is a flat-out baller, man. He is a difference maker.
You know, I think if you maybe put him in a different position, a different situation last year, I think he could have been Rookie of the Year.
He's competitive, bro. I'll give it to him. Like he didn't back down. He kept getting back up and kept trying to make plays, and yeah, he definitely earned my respect.
You know that you and Caleb spent some time before in the past. If he asked you for advice going into this second season, what would you tell him?
A season and a half into his NFL career, and Caleb Williams is already one of the most polarizing quarterbacks in the entire NFL. A lot of people are asking questions like, is he actually getting better? Is he the franchise savior Chicago thought they drafted? Or is he just putting up numbers in a system built to make anyone look good? Well, to find out, we need to hear from the people who know greatness better than anyone, the actual legends who lived it. This is what NFL legends really think about Caleb Williams, his development, and whether or not he's on track to become one of the game's elite quarterbacks. Now, KRICH crew, we are back with another banger, and I gotta throw on the Bears hat. Your boy got it in Chicago when he was there this summer. But really what I need to talk about with Caleb Williams is, really, I'm not the biggest Caleb Williams fan. I do think he's gonna be a good quarterback in the NFL. Not sure where, maybe with the Bears if Ben Johnson can figure it out, but they just don't seem to mesh that well. As we all know, Ben Johnson is very just on time, and the ball needs to be out within about 6 seconds, I'd say, even quicker probably. But Caleb Williams, on the other hand, he is much more out of character and kind of just want to do off platforms throw and things like that. But before we jump into the video, make sure that you guys, as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys can, follow me over on my Instagram, where I am going to be uploading just some short form content when I can, to make sure you guys are getting to some behind the scenes looks, as well as just kind of giving you some extra takes about what is happening in the NFL. But now, with all of that out of the way, we have to talk about Caleb Williams and what the NFL legends think about him, because, well, Caleb Williams has been long praised as football royalty. As a Heisman-winning sophomore, Williams was in the national spotlight for the vast majority of his collegiate career. As a junior, he even threw for 403 yards and 6 touchdowns against Deion Sanders' Colorado Buffaloes, a feat which Prime couldn't help but respect.
I haven't seen him play badly. I mean, I think, you know, he had some throws that I'm sure he would have wanted back, but that kid is a flat-out baller, man. He is a difference maker. He makes them better. His thought process, even just directing traffic and putting them in the right play calls in the right situation, he does a wonderful job of checking off and just changing things and getting the ball out of his hands. It was a pleasure for me to play against him and their head coach. I mean, that was fun. That was fun for me. That really was.
And look, as we all know too, it was kind of known, or basically everybody knew, Caleb Williams was going to go first overall in that 2024 draft class. The problem with that whole thing, though, was that the first overall pick, it was held by the Chicago Bears, who, well, as we all know, yeah, they're pretty bad at just developing quarterbacks that they draft within the top 5, I'd say, wouldn't you? I mean, hell, even one man who is all too familiar with that exact situation is Robert Griffin III, and he was trying to manage expectations for Caleb while also recognizing his unique talent.
He'll be the first pick. I think that he can be the quarterback to help the Chicago Bears break the cycle. I just hope that they help him and set him up the best they possibly can organizationally, because roster-wise, Rich, I mean, they got a bunch of dogs out there for him to throw the football to and hand the ball off to, so I'm excited for him.
Even the Bears owner, Aaron Rodgers, pleaded for patience in the Windy City, where it was becoming increasingly clear that the rookie quarterback was being thrown in the deep end.
Coaches are losing their job in the first year at places that are rebuild places. Like some of the owners, I don't understand. I don't think they realize when they're in a rebuild and when they can actually win now. That's what's going to be interesting about Chicago, is I feel like everybody's going, oh, it's a win now team, you know. But you have a rookie quarterback. Like, it takes some time. I hope it doesn't, because I like Caleb, but it takes time for places, and it takes time to change culture.
And look, I know you Bears fans definitely don't want to hear Aaron Rodgers' words just come true, but they were prophetic. The Bears fired their head coach after just 12 games, which left Caleb's development in limbo. He was the most sacked quarterback in 2024, was completely outshone by many of his draft classmates, and never got any positive momentum going as the Bears endured a 10-game losing streak. But just as they had in the 2024 offseason, in 2025, Chicago acquired one of the most sought-after offensive pieces in the NFL with the hiring of head coach Ben Johnson. Bears legend and Hall of Famer Brian Urlacher acknowledged Caleb's talent while also voicing his excitement at the prospect of him teaming up with a quarterback guru like Johnson.
I love what they did. I love Caleb. I think he's going to be really good. I think if you maybe put him in a different position, a different situation last year, I think he could have been Rookie of the Year. Ben Johnson's the man. I love that hire. I think he'll do a great job with Caleb. They got some talent sign some guys up front to protect Caleb, and they've always had the receivers, so I think that's going to be a good thing.
And look, that seems to be the consensus among all NFL greats. Caleb was a great player in a tough set of circumstances for any quarterback to succeed in. Even the GOAT, Tom Brady, felt the same way about the partnership between Williams and Johnson.
He does a lot of things really well. I think Ben's going to help him a lot, and it's a great offensive system he'll be in. Now it's just about them really getting on the same page and really getting in tune with Caleb's strengths and weaknesses, and try to, obviously mitigate the weaknesses and then, propagate the strengths.
However, when 2025 finally kicked off, it seemed as if once again, Caleb may fail to impress as Bears fans had initially hoped. There were mixed results as the Manning brothers highlighted his impressive plays in a primetime season opener.
Outstanding. 2 hands on the pocket in there. Now we're running. Now we're being an athlete.
And look, that all sounds great, right? But then we go on to see that the Bears, they lost that game, and Caleb Williams had an atrocious second half in that game as well. Errant throws and poor decisions saw him come up short against the man who was drafted 9 picks after him in J.J. McCarthy, who was making his first NFL start. Even Shady McCoy, admittedly a big fan of Caleb Williams, couldn't defend him any longer through his early struggles in year 2.
Caleb Williams, you worried?
Is he holding them back?
Yeah. I think he's the weaker part of the offense. Solid wide receivers, got solid offensive line, got a really good running back. Yeah, he's got to play better. But I will say this though, they're winning football games, so I can't keep doing this with him. Yeah, he got to play better. He got to play better.
By week 3, though, things were starting to click for him and Johnson's offense, and Caleb was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week for his 4-touchdown game against the Cowboys with a deep flea flicker as a reminder of the unreal talent that he does possess. Hell, this even earned him more praise from the GOAT.
Caleb Williams, 4 touchdown passes, no interceptions, no sacks. What made it work today for him, maybe unlike it has throughout his first year plus?
Yeah, he played on time, in rhythm. Some of those explosive plays, like that flea flicker, blew me away because he obviously jumped, caught it one-handed, which was super athletic, and then drops a dime 65 yards in the air. So I think you see the potential, and the reality is now you just got to make that consistent over the course of the whole season.
And now look, for all the ups and downs that come with Caleb Williams, as a Bears fan, there's a lot to look forward to in this 2025 season still. Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner, who had a vastly different beginning to life in the league than Caleb, highlighted progress as the biggest positive takeaway from Caleb's sophomore season.
They're getting better. Okay. And Caleb, I think, is taking small steps every single week. But, I came away from that game going, this looks like a real NFL offense.
Okay.
Right? It's coming together. They're making plays down the field, and Caleb's playing on time and trying to go through his progressions. They're running the football well now. They're using all of their weapons in different ways that I really like what they're doing, and I like the strides that Caleb has made. Not there yet. Isn't a finished product. Shouldn't expect him to be. But every week, there's a little bit more excitement about what it looks like.
Caleb Williams just needs time under a coordinator like Ben Johnson to teach him and show him, no, this isn't how we win football games. You don't put the ball in harm's way backed up, right? We take the check. Even if we got a punt, we got a good defense. But I think that's a learning curve for Caleb Williams. And like I said, it's going to go this way, then it's going to go up, right? It's never going to be just consistent learning because he's got habits that he learned in college where you can't get that in the NFL.
Fair. And look, that's the thing. In college, he could rely on his athleticism a little bit more because he was probably the best player on the field in college. In the NFL, he's just another guy that's on the field. Of course, he's a great player, but he's not the best player on the field majority of the time. And because of that too, it's kind of why we saw Caleb get sacked so many times in his rookie year. Like, that's the thing. Part of the battle with Caleb Williams is trying to manage his hero ball that he wants to do constantly, which is what got him punished in 2024. Like, for a young quarterback, that change can only happen gradually. Although he may not be a legend in the same vein as Warner, Brady, or Manning, Ben DiNucci gave some valuable insight into what that development into an NFL quarterback actually looks like for Caleb.
The biggest thing, Caleb Williams is progressing week after week. And when I look at him and I look at how he's playing the position, the biggest difference from week 1 to right now, his feet are, everything is slowing down, right? I think earlier in the season, his feet were getting a little bit out to in front of his eyes, rushing through progressions. He's doing a good job out of the pocket, not making the kind of boneheaded throws that we saw earlier in the season, doing a good job protecting the ball and giving this offense a chance to score points, to make plays, and to win games. At the end of the day, that's all you can ask of Caleb Williams, right?
And look, even some of the best players in the NFL, in today's NFL, I should say, are starting to take notice of the strides he's making. After one of the weakest games of the season against the Raiders in Week 4, Caleb stated that star edge rusher Max Crosby was the best player he had ever faced. Crosby also paid the compliment back to the sophomore quarterback and then some too.
No, that's dope. You know what I mean? Seeing that is dope. You know what I mean? I take a lot of pride in my work and what I do, and hearing that from a really good player is cool. You know what I mean? But our matchup was I mean, all day. You know what I mean? All day we were going back and forth, and he's competitive, bro. I'll give it to him. Like he was, he didn't back down. He kept getting back up and kept trying to make plays, and yeah, he definitely earned my respect. He's a competitor.
Yes,
he's a competitor, and he is hard to tackle. You know what I mean? He makes plays happen, and he wants. You know, he's just trying to will his team to win, and you know they found a way, and so I gotta give him that respect.
Yeah.
And look, that's slowly but surely becoming the case across the rest of the league. Are legitimately exciting. Not only has Caleb given Bears fans something to actually cheer for in 2025, but his progress hasn't gone unnoticed or underappreciated by NFL legends, all of whom have had unanimously praised his talent and are simply waiting